4.5 years ago, I started selling on Amazon. I was not 18 yet, but I was just about to turn 18, and I knew this is what I wanted to do. I was working at a bar as a barback in downtown Austin. It was very hard to see a bunch of people, 40, 50, working the same job as me while they're bartenders and servers, but that was not going to be my life. That was terrifying for me to see that. So what did I do? I just walked out the day I turned 18, told everybody I got fired, and I started selling on Amazon. It did not go how I thought it was going to go at the start. I started listing products, and I was getting no sales. But at no point in that time did I have doubt that it was going to work. I knew that it was going to work. I knew that if I just kept going, I would see success in this business model. I remember this very clearly. We had a trip to Costa Rica planned, and I was not making any money at this point. And I assumed that I would just be making money because I started selling on Amazon. And I think that's what a lot of you guys assume and have the same mindset. I did the same thing. No money was made, even while we were on the trip. But I remember flying home. We were in the Houston airport. One more flight connecting back to Austin. I opened the Amazon seller app, and I see I got an order. I couldn't have felt happier. I couldn't explain the emotions that I was feeling. Grateful, blessed, happy. You can't explain it. It's one of the best feelings in the world to get your first order, especially online. I remember it very vividly. It was an Xbox SD memory card holder. I ended up getting home and, ready to fulfill that order, ready to ship it out quick as shit. It was out of stock because I had listed these products on my store a couple months ago and I didn't even check anymore. I had a bunch listed. Rookie mistake, right? Those people go through that. So out of stock, I couldn't fulfill it. I had to refund the order. I had to. But something clicked right then and there. It's possible. It's possible. I just need to do better, put in more work. And I did. And over time, I started getting more orders and doing better. And I remember I was sitting in my ex-girlfriend's house ready to kind of do the math to see how much money I had made the first few months. And I wasn't incorporating shipping costs or taxes. And I ended up just losing a couple of $100. But I still knew it was possible. A lot of people would have quit at that point. No doubt in my mind. I was happy to see that I was getting orders. I just knew I had to refine. Do it again, just do it differently. Then it started to go pretty well. I started to get onto some toys and games, and then some baby products, and then dog food. And that's when I started to make $4K a month. I ended up saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna move out of my house. And all of my buddies were going to school and college. So I went and moved in with some of them and some of their homies because, I wanted to be around people that I knew. Very much of a learning lesson there. At the time, my ex-girlfriend now broke up with me, so it put me in a pretty bad position, but I was in a dark place, and I had been working that whole entire time, and I was finally actually pulling 10, 15K months because I was just sitting in the apartment all day working because that's what I love to do. And once I started making that money and this relationship was over, I went and started going out every single night. And if you guys know San Marcos, you know that that's pretty much what everybody does, is goes out. And it's a pretty interesting city, to say the least. Bottle service was extremely cheap there. Went in pretty much every night. Went and bought bottle service. A couple grand here and there. Maybe $500 one night, $1,000 another night. Well, I wasn't really keeping track of how much I was profiting and how much I was spending. Then I started going on trips and buying a bunch of shit, going on barges, just paying for the whole thing because, why not, right? I was making a bunch of money. Ended up putting myself in a pretty big hole. That was about a year and a half ago. I ended up getting a DUI, ended up in jail, ruining my credit, ruining my Amazon business. And, well, it wasn't completely ruined, but it was tanking pretty hard. Orders weren't being fulfilled on time. I just wasn't doing the work because I was fucking drunk and yacked out until 8 a.m., 12 p.m. It just wasn't good, man. It wasn't good, and it's a learning lesson. But I had to move back home because I had shit credit. I couldn't re-sign a lease because I knew I had to lock back in. I knew I had things I needed to do. What I do remember very vividly, and this is the main point of this video, is no doubt at the start. There was no doubt in my mind that I could make it work, and I did, right? 10 to 20K is what most people's goal is at the start when starting an online business. I imagined it every single day. I would wake up, I would look at my phone, and I would see no orders on my dashboard. And I would just imagine orders coming in. You know what? Eventually they started to come in, but I had to put in the work. It wasn't just visualization, and I can't preach that enough. It's visualize, manifest. You hear everybody talk about it. Every successful person on the internet is telling you to do it, and yet a lot of you guys think it's not real. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Why is everybody telling you to do it? Because it is real. You are training your subconscious to be in these situations. And there's this thing called quantum entanglement, and it has been a theory for a very long time, but it is now just coming out in these past few months, and a lot of people don't agree with it. But your subconscious and your conscious mind are related to quantum physics, and that your brain works off of quantum physics and quantum mechanics. So what is quantum entanglement? You have two particles, two entities, right? If they're right next to each other, you spin one, the other one starts spinning immediately, okay? If they're 30 miles away from each other, you spin one, the other one starts spinning, right? So if they are interconnected, they do the same things at the exact same time. So there's this theory that says if your subconscious can train itself and have the full belief that you are at your highest self, to whatever your goals are, that you are imagining yourself at every single second, well, not every second, but if you are imagining yourself in these higher up points in your life where you believe you should be, where you know you should be, because everybody knows. Even when I was a little kid, bro, there was no doubt in my mind that I would have a bunch of abundancy and be wealthy and be able to be free, financially free. That was my goal. And there was never a doubt in my mind. I always knew it, I just didn't know how. Found Amazon. What do you know? You imagine these things, you manifest these things, you visualize your higher up self, and then you start to become him. Quantum entanglement. You start with your subconscious, and then it eventually moves into your conscious mind, your conscious life, real life. You guys really need to look into that. There are a lot of YouTube videos on it. They're kind of fried, I'll be honest. It's like a bunch of AI stuff, but listen to what they're saying. Do some research on quantum mechanics, not the math side, but the subconscious side. It is all very new. No doubt. There is no question for doubt, and I'll show you guys an example, because whenever I started fucking my life up, going out every night, doing a bunch of drugs, spending my money, wasting it, running my business to the... I always was having, and this is the first time I've ever had this, I would have this fear at night. My Amazon store is not going to do well. Like, I would imagine the graph going up because that's what it looked like. It was a steady form up. And then I would just imagine a fat drop off. And what do you know? It happened because I imagined that. I subconsciously made it come true. And I cannot stress this enough. That is not a coincidence. Okay? So, had to move back home for the past year, deal with these cases. Now I'm on probation. This past year, I have made it my goal to get back in the mindset that I had when I first started selling on Amazon. Manifestation, visualization, action. Take action on that. You can't just visualize and then assume it's going to happen. You have to take action on what your higher up self would be doing, right? So if your higher up self is wealthy and free, do you think he is just sitting around fucking smoking weed all the time, going out every night, playing PS5, on the phone scrolling reels? No, he's working all the damn time. Right? You have to start here. And as a young male citizen, you are in your prime. 18 to like 25. You are in your prime, and a lot of you guys are wasting it going out, doing a bunch of nonsense for other people, working for other people. Why not work for yourself? Why not? In the past year, I have built my Amazon store back up to even better than what it was before. Over 50K months in profit. My content for August Ecom has got 10 times better. My clients are doing better. I visualize it all every single night before I go to bed. And honestly, every single day, I'm visualizing what my next steps are. I told myself I'm gonna give myself a year to move out. It's been about a year and a half, honestly. We tried to move out to a house, rent a house. It didn't work out. It honestly wasn't in a very nice location, south of Austin, so Kyle, Texas. Not really where we want to be. It didn't work out. I was getting very upset. Is this ever going to work out? Why doesn't anybody want us to rent their house? Well, obviously we're young guys in a HOA with a bunch of suburban neighborhoods. Like, they're just not going to want us to live there. So I was getting very frustrated again, and I saw a little decline again. I started smoking and drinking again, and I immediately caught myself, hey, lock the fuck back in, kid. Over the past, I'd say 3 months, and this might go into the probation situation to where I can't smoke or drink, but here I am today, and I've been visualizing, manifesting. I know what I need to do now, and I know how much work I need to put in to become my higher up self. No, I'm not even halfway there. I'm probably not even a third of the way there, but I know what I need to do, and I can see it all forming. There should be no doubt. I will also add this. The first time when I first started making money, I acted like I didn't know what I was doing with it, going out and spending it all the time, just blowing my money. Now, I know what I need to do. There's no feeling of, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I feel like I've been here before. Well, I technically have, but not with this much money. but it feels normal to me now. And that's what you guys need to realize. You can't just get all excited. Keep your emotions in check. Keep your emotions in check. I went through a lot of struggles with Amazon. There was never a doubt in my mind, but there were a lot of ups and downs. And I've been doing it for the last 4.5 years, and I do not want to see any of you guys, especially you younger guys, have to go through these situations, because I know a lot of people would not be able to handle it, and that is why I help you guys. I wish I had this help when I was younger, and if this is something you guys want, full one-on-one help, you can click the link in my bio and schedule a call, or you can DM me on Instagram at augecom. You're only going to be talking to me, bro. I'm not doing that bullshit that you see on the internet. That being said, we have just now signed the lease, now moving into a high-rise in Austin, Texas with a beautiful view. It's about $8K a month, and you know what? It feels totally normal, but I know there's more to be done. I know what's next for me. I've always wanted to travel the world and be in exotic places. And I didn't know how I was going to get that done, especially on probation and shit like that. Well, what do you know? In about a year, I'm going to have a full dual citizenship, Italian citizenship, and that means I can have the whole entire EU passport and do whatever I please around the world. I will be fully free, because a lot of you guys think that being free is just financially free. I'm talking go wherever I want, whenever I want, on a private jet, drive whatever cars I want, do whatever I want, eat wherever I want, literally do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I thought I had that back in the day, but now I realize what it actually means to be free and financially free. Visualize, manifest, do the work. If you just visualize, if you just manifest, nothing's gonna come from it. You have to put the fucking work in. A lot of you guys don't know what it's like to put the work in and feel the gratitude of what it actually feels like to put the work in every day. I'm working 16 hours a day, and it feels amazing. Never felt better. It might sound like hell to a lot of you guys, but trust me, when you're working on yourself, you become obsessed because you have a vision and you know where you're supposed to go in life. I wouldn't have it any other way. I used to get very upset that I put myself in that situation, that it wasn't my fault, but then you come to realize that it's all your fault. There's inputs and outputs. If you put bad inputs in, you're gonna get bad outputs, right? If you put good inputs in, you're gonna get good outputs. Now, how many times are you gonna do that over and over and over and be consistent? You're gonna have to cut people off, right? You're going to have to make these sacrifices, and you know that. You know what they are. Right, I had to stop smoking weed, I had to stop going out, because it was hindering my actions, my work, my visualizations. I had a foggy mind. I have never been more aware, I have never been happier, and I feel amazing. And that might sound weird, right? Oh, you're not smoking anymore, you're not drinking, and you feel good? Yes, I feel better than ever. My goals are coming together better than ever. I know exactly what needs to be done, and when you guys get to this point, you will know. You will know. And you need to keep going, be consistent, because I've been at this point a couple of times and I get content and I say, okay, we're on path again. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. Do not. Keep building, keep going. I cannot stress this enough, guys. I cannot stress this enough. You know what you're meant for, and you know maybe it doesn't look the same for everybody, but you know what your higher up self can look like, and you know what a bum would look like. You could be homeless, or you could be the wealthiest person alive. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you from either one. It's just what actions are you going to take and where is it going to take you? And you know what needs to be done. Now just do it. Cut off all the vices. Cut off the bad people. Sacrifice, right? Sacrifice everything if you have to. Because if those are your goals and you are really true to those goals, that is what, you know what needs to be done. That's what it takes. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that, and that's why a lot of people aren't successful. I cannot stress this enough. Just keep going, bro. It's going to get hard. It sucks sometimes, and I cannot stress that enough. Literally, I cannot stress that enough at all. It's going to get very hard. You're going to want to stop. You're going to want to quit. But you have to think to yourself, what would my higher up self be doing? Would he quit? Would he stop working? Would he go and take a break? Probably not. Probably not. It was literally Halloween a couple nights ago. And I'm not saying don't go out, but I am saying this. Would your higher up self go out? Is that what he would be doing at the point you're at right now? Would he be satisfied with you going out during these points in your life? Or is it still time to build? Are you wasting time? Are you fogging your mind? Cluttering it with a bunch of nonsense? You have to ask yourself those questions. And when you start acting like that and moving like that, you will start to realize that everything I am saying is correct. But I'm not telling you this is for everybody. Maybe not everybody's goals are to be abundant and see the higher ups of the world. Maybe that's fine. But mine are. And I think a lot of y'all's are too that are watching these YouTube videos. And I'm telling you, you have to do these actions to get to where you want to be. I cannot stress this enough. quantum entanglement, visualize, train your subconscious, no doubt, not once. Anytime you doubt something, think of yourself of that thought being thrown in the trash can and burning. That's what I do. Anytime I have a bad thought or a doubt, I think to myself, I'm throwing that in the trash and it's burning. It's gone. You do that enough times, there's no more doubt in your mind. You have to just believe and know that it's all going to work out if you just keep going and stay consistent. And once you do that, you'll be golden. I know it sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again in a different way. And maybe I am, but it's the only way to get it across to you guys that this is what needs to be done. And it sounds very extreme. Oh, you have to do this, 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 and this. Why is everybody else telling you to do these things? It's not a coincidence, bro. If you are going to start the Amazon journey or any online business, but specifically the Amazon seller journey, I am here to help you guys. I am. I have been through it all for the last 4.5 years. Accounts deactivated, got them back, know what not to do now. And that's why I'm here, because I wish I had this help whenever I started, because I'd be in a lot different of a place right now. But the world works in funny ways. And now you're here watching this video. Everything happens for a reason, and you need to start having that mindset as well. Everything happens for a reason, good or bad. Everything is your fault as well, good or bad. Don't blame it on other people. You put yourself in these situations, good or bad, right? Good inputs equal good outputs. Do you want to end up as a homeless bum, or do you want to be the wealthiest man in the world? Ask yourself that, because both are possible. Both are more than possible. It's just, what are you going to do? What do your actions look like? And which way are they going to lead you? If you guys want my help, and I cannot stress this enough, I'm not going to try and sell you on anything. I am here. If you want my help, I am here. If you don't, that's fine. I have a bunch of YouTube videos for a reason. I wish I had this help when I started. I wish I had these videos when I started. That's why I'm putting them out there for you guys, because I know there are people that are going through what I went through. Maybe they're a little bit older, maybe they're a little bit younger, but I wish I had those videos to help me get started, because it would have excelled my progress very fast. Cannot stress this enough. If you are very serious about this and want to move on, want to move in a fast manner, think about it this way. You can go to the gym and be natural and get big in 3 years. I say this all the time. Or you can just fucking buy steroids and get big in 3 months. Think of that as a mentorship. Do your research. It doesn't have to be me. If it's not Amazon, I don't know what to tell you. All I know is Amazon, right? If it's someone else, do your research. Make sure they're genuine. Make sure they're giving you info and not trying to sell you a lifestyle. I will never sell out. That is not my goal here. My goal is to help people. I think I am on that path, and I like it. It's fun. It's fulfilling. I get to make good connections. If this is something you want to be a part of, you can click the link in my bio and book a call, or fucking DM me, bro. I am more than happy to answer questions. I am more than happy to help you. That's why I'm doing this. Maybe, my past self was doing some crazy things, and I think this makes me feel like I'm making up for it. I'm a better person now. If that's something you guys are interested in, like I said, bio, DM me on Instagram, augicom. Keep going, bro. It's a journey. It sucks at the start. It's hard. I'm not going to fluff a damn thing. It's hard. The first 3 months are hard. You're going to need to live below your means for a second so that you can have the capital and so that you can keep putting in the work to be successful in this business model. The product research is the hardest part. Finding what you're looking for. Finding suppliers. That's the point, bro. That's why a lot of people quit. A lot of people burn out. Because it's not easy. That's what makes it worth it. If you're willing to go through the shit, you are going to be worthy of the fruits of your labor. You are going to be worthy of the success that it brings you. But if you just give up on every single little thing that you're trying, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there that have tried a lot of things and have given up within 3 months, 6 months. What the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is that? It took me a year before I even actually saw real profit on Amazon. Yeah, I was getting sales, but real profit, it took me a year. I had no doubt in my mind once during that first time that I knew that I was going to be able to be successful in this business model, and that allowed me to keep going. Be delusional. Be delusional. It's kind of a longer video than I wanted it to be, but please take this information, absorb it, and start applying it to your life. I guarantee you in a year, you will be in a different situation. Come back, comment on it. I'd love to know what happens.